right, guys, it's another blessed weekend. Your boy Chris,
And this is your girl, Demi.
lights, camera, action.
Let's talk.
We back on the scene. I'm telling you guys, we got us a superb talent for today. I'm gonna let the wife handle that.
Well, this guy we have known for years now since we've been in some of his projects that he's done. But I'm not going to sit here and talk a lot about it right now. What I'm going to do is introduce him. We have with us the amazing Jamall Rawlinson.
Woo! Come on in, my man.
He is a filmmaker and a owner of Vacant Space Films.
Oh my God.
Woo!
Roger that. How you doing today, young man?
Man, I'm doing fabulous. Great to see you guys.
Great to
as
Roger
always.
that. Roger
Yes,
that.
yes, yes.
Roger that.
Excited to be a part of anything that these two lovely faces are.
Oh man, man.
Oh,
I'm telling
thank you.
brother.
We love being a part of anything that you do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, because we found out about you, I think through Nina. She said that you were doing a project
Yeah.
and you needed some extras, and we're like, okay, hey, we're here, we're available. And so we went there, and it was a very humbling experience because we
was.
learned a lot from that. Because I've never really been on a actual set before
Yep.
or film before, so it was like, wow. And we just right from there we learned a lot from you
Yep.
being who you were and everything because we didn't know anything like
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Right.
We could be extras on other sets maybe, but we really like the close and personal control that you had of your set
Yeah.
and the things that you did, and we learned from that.
Oh yeah. Let me ask you a question, my man. What was your reason for getting into film? Or what is your reason?
For me, it is all about wanting to tell stories that mean something special to me, my community, and I have fun.
Roger that.
I think a lot of times when I was growing up, I'd watch things and it just feels so far, like it was out of reach when
I
I was
got
a
you.
kid, and never even considered acting, directing, any of that. So for me, it's that little boy's dream
Uh-huh.
coming true, and giving that opportunities to those from my little neighborhood, and like, hey, we can do things too.
That's what's up.
We can make something special,
That's
something
dope.
fun.
Who initially gave you that push?
Actually, that would be my professor from college, Dr. Sharon Willis. I give her
Okay.
a shout out.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's
So,
up.
I went to college to be believe it or not, a public accountant. That's what I thought.
Okay,
I was
okay.
gonna
You
be.
look like you could be a damn
I
accountant.
was going. I was going to be an accountant. That was it. You know, I was good in math. I had the high scores. I went to Charleston Southern University.
Okay.
That's what I was going to do. And first few classes, I was like, oh my God, I hate all of these. All of these classes. I didn't care on my high scores. I wanted out. And I took a theater class, mainly because it was always like that dream, like when you were a kid. When you're
I
like,
got you.
I'm just take this little theater class. And I don't even remember the professor's name that I actually had.
Right.
It's an older gentleman. He didn't like me. I felt like I was like, I didn't do anything to you. But he made me the stage manager, put me backstage, and gave me this big book. And he had the whole script just laid out for me.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'll figure it out.
Right.
Didn't give me much direction or anything. And I found out that, you know, he was in a kind of a bad mood because unfortunately the gentleman was really sick. So he didn't have him long as a professor.
Right.
And then Dr. Sharon Willis came in.
Okay.
And she wouldn't even call herself the director of the play. She was assistant director, even though he never came back.
Oh wow.
And she took over as a professor and the director. And she grabbed me and she said, I'm going to tell you, stage manager is the most important role of anybody here. And I didn't understand it then.
Right.
I understand it now.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Because she said, when the show runs, I'm the director. I'm out in the audience. You run the show.
Right.
And my first ever thing really in theater and film was being a stage manager for a play in college.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Talking about feeling like you're just thrown to the wolves.
What was the play?
Oh, The Tower. It was I would never want to do that play again. She was confused. We all were kind of confused of what type of play it was. But I will say I learned that play backwards and forwards. I knew what everybody's spot was going to be. It was different because it was, Charleston Southern's a religious school, so a lot of the plays are really centered towards that. And this is just one that was very, very unique. I've never seen it performed anywhere else. And I'm glad because it's confusing. But yes, The Tower. I cannot ever forget that one.
So we couldn't even ask you what it was about, huh?
Oh, man. I think I intentionally put that out of my head. It was very confusing of what was going on in this tower, and we were like, "How is this related to the Bible?"
Oh my God!
And they, like I said, even my professor, she admittedly for many years, she's like, "I really couldn't explain it to you guys myself."
Wow!
It's a very unique play where it's so much symbolism in it that I think I'm sure it can be done well.
Right.
I didn't particularly feel like we did. 18-year-old kid and first thrown in as a stage manager.
I bet y'all did. To be honest with you, I bet you for what y'all were given, I bet y'all did an awesome job.
It felt like a lot of people said, I liked the play. I remember my friends, guys was on teams and stuff with, was like, hey, Jamall, that was kind of cool, but we don't really know what we watched.
Be like, we don't even know what we showed y'all.
Unfortunately, it's probably because we were confused too. Because it had like circus elements in it, but it wasn't. And I'd have to go back and read it to really understand that.
Wow.
Did your when you looked into the audience, did they look perplexed too?
Yeah, when they clapped, I was confused myself. I said, well, they liked it. You were entertaining somehow, but yeah. I had a lot of college plays where it's hard to be extremely creative and at Charleston Southern. Sorry, Charleston Southern, but it's true. I did have absolute pleasure of working. Fast forward years later, because I actually didn't finish my degree initially at Charleston Southern. I left early. I had kids, a wife, family.
So life happened.
Right.
And I put all of those things on hold. I would still act for different plays. I would still jump in little short films, especially when I finished out my acting with her. I did do a few more years with acting with Dr. Willis. And then 2008, 2009, I went to Trident Tech.
Okay.
And who's teaching at Trident Tech? Dr. Willis.
She was?
So she has two sons. She always calls me her third son.
Oh, that's what's up.
She really, when I came back, she immediately was like, why aren't you doing more acting? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?
Right.
So she immediately got me into the Clemente players at Trident Tech. I did tons of acting on that, more stage manager work.
Wow, they don't. She's not there anymore.
No, she's retired.
Okay, because she must have been retired when we were.
Because I was like
back in 2013.
Okay,
Jack wouldn't know it neither.
Yeah, I was like, nah.
So that's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah, she was at Charleston Southern for years. She retired from Trident Tech, where she taught theater and like social sciences, stuff like that.
Okay.
And then she also owned Theatric Unlimited downtown. That was a that was like the go-to spot for theater stuff. You needed costumes, you went there. She was the owner of
real?
that.
Oh wow.
Is it still or no?
No, she did close it a few years back. Her husband passed.
Oh, okay.
Not
she-
too long after that, she kind of.
Is she doing anything with it?
Oh, with the space,
Yeah.
she sold it a while back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably about 9-10 years. I think.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
She's like, she's like, I need this money. I'm going to Rio.
But she's still here in Charleston, and I still talk to her, and
That's
still
cool.
get invited over to Christmas things. She's probably getting on me right now. She's like, "You missed the last three, Jamall. I'm in out of country. I'm in out of state. You know, my family keeps me busy. We
Right.
do a lot of things." But yes, she was my getting me involved, keeping me involved, taught me all the different things. And when I took a long route to go back, when I did go back to CSU back in 2014, I got to work with Thomas Keating over at Charleston Southern University.
Okay. I've heard of that
And
name.
I feel like he is not just an amazing professor, but he understands, like, I came in, his first thing, he's like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "I never finished my degree." He's like, "You got to be kidding me, man. You were so close." And then I'm in his theater classes, and he's like, "You want to teach the class?" I was
wow.
like, "Stop, man, stop." But what really got me was the standard that he held me at.
Okay.
So when I came back to him and I'm taking his classes, I would be on stage with other actors, young actors. And first thing he would say to me was, "Hey, I'm not teaching you anything because you already know all this basic stuff. I expect you to bring up the person that you're with,
Right.
make them better, and I want to see you learn from there." He's like, "Other than that, there's nothing for me to be sitting here trying to teach you within that aspect of it, of
I got you.
basics." So, my first challenge was being in a class where I'm graded totally different than everyone in the class.
Wow.
And I was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "Yeah, I'm not, those tests, you walking around here at hundreds on that. No." And then he put me in there with whoever he saw struggling acting wise. He's like, "Oh, yeah, you can have Jamall as a partner." Now, every kid in there is like, this 33-year-old veteran actor. They're like, "Ooh, I'm an easy A." And then they go and sit down with me and realize, like, "Hold up, man, I have a very, very unique process. I make sure that I'm prepared more than anyone."
Right.
And when we start, when they hand me the script, or we pick the script, I'm going home and learning the script is like, to me, that isn't even a basic.
Right.
That is something that is essential.
Right.
You
It's
can't do
like
anything.
breathing.
Yes.
It's like you have to do this.
Yeah.
You
So,
have to do this.
because you got to get that out of the way to start acting.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
You can't act if you don't know what
you
the
got to
script
say.
is. And also the story.
Right.
So what I really find with a lot of young actors, they'll get all of their lines
and don't
they'll
know
their
story,
lines,
but don't know the story.
And I'm
So
like,
they act according to their lines.
yes, which that's not your character.
Right.
I'm like, your character is a part of a whole story. So he would always he wouldn't allow me to ask any questions about my character. He's like, "You know your character, right? You came in here with an idea of your character." I was like, "Yeah." So Keating was a person who told me these words. I said, "Hey," I was on set. Was a little frustrated with the actor I was working with, and I was trying to find my spot on the stage. And I'm like, "Well, how am I get to my spot? They keep walking into where I'm supposed to go." And I walked up to him, and Keating said, "Jamall, I just got one question for you. You asking me these questions of how do I get this actor?" He said, "I don't know how I'm going to get that actor out of the way. I know you can figure out what to do when they're in the way.
Right.
So you do your job, and you do that, and I'll worry about directing." And I was like, "What?" He said, "You act, I direct. That's not, what you're asking me isn't a directing question." I was like, "Okay, all right. Now I'm going to go back and, all right, let's see. All right, she's in the wrong spot. No problem. I'll negotiate around it. I'll ad lib if I'm allowed to.
Right.
But I'm gonna work within the scene, and if I don't hear the words cut,
Right. I'm gonna
I
keep
don't
going.
stop.
Right.
Dr. Willis taught me theater. Keating taught me acting for the camera.
Roger that. Roger that.
That's what's up.
And when we did that, it was a whole different world for me. I'd already acted on film and camera prior to that, but I felt like I actually learned.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how I felt when I went back into different methods of training. I was like, when I first started, I was like, well, I know I'm good. I know I can say these lines convincingly enough to people say, okay, cool, I believe it. But acting is more than that. You know what I'm saying? And once I understood that and went to class and started understanding, okay, this is why you go to class. Okay. I understand there's a whole discipline behind this and understanding behind it. Once I understood that, and then now that I see myself doing something compared to when I didn't do it, it's like to me, it's night and day. You know, when I see something that I've done and it's like, I'll be like, I didn't really like that one, you know. But if I would have did it now, it'd have been completely different. Completely different, you know. So I get that. I do totally get that.
Yeah. Some people want to skip training, not want to listen, and all of that.
Right.
It's like, oh, so how did you get into acting? What do y'all do? We explain it to them. Say, hey, we take acting classes. We do this. We do that, and that. People don't want to do that, and then when they get into certain films, they think that they know everything, but you don't. Wait till you get to that big major studio, that big set. It's gonna be a whole different world out there.
Right.
Yeah, and so you ain't gonna know what to do, what to say, and why you said it because you don't want to do the training. Some people, I get it, they're naturals, and you feel you can speak naturally and all of that, but it's more to it than just speaking natural. It's a whole different ball game once you learn every aspect of what you need to learn, and you're constantly learning every single day. Do you have a lot of people come to you and they just think they can do it just like that, or they're better than you, or they can tell you how to run your things?
absolutely. And I would say a younger version of me, you see, really upset with those individuals.
Mm.
The I'll give myself the last 3-4 years. I've learned that individual will meet that understanding like everyone has to.
Right.
Because this business is loving but unforgiving.
There it is.
So if you're willing to stick around, you're going to learn that lesson one way or
Right.
another.
Right.
And I was guilty of that as a young actor. In my 20s, I thought I was
Oh
pretty
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
You know, and in my own right, I was a good actor.
Right.
But good acting means you continuously work. Good directing means you continuously work. When I made the decision 10, 11 years ago that I got behind the camera and I went back to stage management, and then I directed a play or two. I found actually my true love of this business. Acting is fun for me. I love jumping on there and acting, especially if it's a learning thing for me and the actors I'm working with. But being a director and a writer, and even the production side of it, being a producer, the creation of all of it. You know, when you act on something, you're at the mercy of the director. The director chooses what the shot is.
Right.
You know, the director of photography chooses what angle is on you, what light is on you. You go in there, you do your job, you walk out, and now the rest of it, you got to wait to see what happens.
Right. Right.
Being on that other side, you see that
From
part.
start to finish.
Yes. It's like, you know, we're all right here on this side. I don't know on that side, but we're parents here. So we know the journey of watching our kids
Right.
from point A to point B,
Right.
and point B isn't a stopping point.
No.
So it's just like that in film.
Right.
Like, You
feel you.
create this, and then you're like, oh man, you put it out there for the world, and you hope the world loves it.
Right.
And if the world doesn't, that's all right.
Right.
You love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And that's how I treat every project now.
Right.
And when I do get those actors and directors that I work with or other, like, oh, I know this, I sit back and I try to use that patience. But I am stern. A lot of people tell you that, you don't show up to things, I will move on.
Oh yeah, we do
Because
same
I'm
way.
like, I won't hold up anything for any actors because everybody's putting their heart and soul in stuff.
The only way that I will do that, we will do that, is I've already shot you on camera. I've already put you on camera and in this role, and I can't go back and erase you. You know what I'm saying? I might have to wait, unless I'm gonna redo the whole thing right then and there. But I'm like you. We're just like you. We will move. It's about the project in the end of the day.
Yeah, because when we did Cycles TV series, and we were already actors in it, but then when we took direction on directing it and writing and casting and all that other stuff for it, it was like one day we were on set. One of the guys got in an accident, and we're like, oh man, it was the main actor, and we was like, what are we gonna do? We called up this one guy, and he was like, I'm there, what you need or whatever, and because he already said that he can do whatever, so I was like, let's reach out to this person or whatever.
And we hadn't seen him on camera, so it was like, okay.
That leap of faith.
Right, yeah. So yeah, we've changed characters really, really quick because of, like she said, somebody was there coming to the set and, they get in an accident. Ain't nothing I can, nothing they can do, it's, so it's like, what do we do?
And then we have these people that sometimes they treat, because you're an independent filmmaker, they treat you as though you're not as important as
Second
a major
class.
set. So what do you do when that happens to you?
How
That
do you-
happens on every single set I've been on.
Right.
There's always an actor that I've had actors come to my sets with other scripts that they're working on.
That's
while they're supposed
crazy.
to.
Oh wow.
I've had actors that, you're like 10 seconds from shooting and they're talking about their next thing.
Right.
And what I've done in every occasion is I will never stop the process if we're in the middle of it.
Right.
I'll let it go. And at the end, you guys have known on my sets, at the end, before I say wrap, I like to talk to my cast. And I'll address it in a way of, hey, you wouldn't want us to sit on there and writing out our next, oh man, I can't wait to work with this next actor.
Right. As
So I
you're
give
sitting
them
there
that.
preparing,
Yeah.
right.
So, don't do that. 2, understand that I am all in on the project I walked in on.
Right.
If you treat every project like that, that will be noticed.
Right.
It's a small film community now here in Charleston, but we're growing.
Oh, totally.
And almost all of us know of each other.
Yep.
And if we haven't worked with each other,
Right.
we know of each other.
Right.
You don't want your reputation to be that.
Right.
You want to make sure, don't come on my set talking about any director in a negative way. Whether it's Miss Green or,
Right.
the Johnsons, you better not come on my set.
Right.
Because, and it's not like a threat, it's a respect.
Right. I get you.
It's a love for it.
Right.
I've had actors that have done awful things, in my opinion, to a film.
Right.
And we still got it all together. They look good in the film.
Right.
And anyone asks me about them, I will only talk about their positive.
Right.
And I've had them reach back out and go, hey man, I really appreciate that. I said, great. Next time you're on my set, show me that appreciation.
Appreciation.
Now, when I first started doing this in the 30s, I was 35-year-old Jamall probably would have been like, man, no, I ain't working with that person. I'm telling everybody about you. But it doesn't benefit us.
Right.
And Charleston, I believe, is growing, and I want to be a part of it.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes. 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 Yes.
So I on all the positive tips. There's too many negatives I've had in my life to allow allow this to have negatives in it.
I feel you.
I love it too much.
I feel you. That's awesome. That's awesome words to say, because sometimes I get so, I guess, focused and wrapped around my own world that I want to push everything aside and handle it. But those words right there, that's real soothing. So I like that. That's dope.
Yeah, because I've noticed, well, actually, let me go back. For you, that's very soothing, like he said, and it's very amazing that you do that. And people look at that like, oh, wow, he does that. I have respect for you. I have respect for you before then,
Right.
but I have respect for you more so and everything. I know, because I noticed that sometimes when people do not like the actors or the production or the or anything, they'll blast it on social media.
Right.
And when I see that, it makes me not want to be a part of that. So if we're friends or whatever, I cut you off or whatever, because I don't want to be a part of that messiness or whatever. If it's really messy,
Right.
because I saw producers and directors call out people. I saw actors and stuff. I would think that you would be man or woman enough to go to that particular person and speak to them on the sidelines instead of
Right.
posting it all over, and that maybe y'all can come to some mutual agreement. If not, okay, well, it's over
Right.
and stuff. But don't tell nobody, don't work with this person, don't do this, don't do that, or whatever, because everybody hasn't had that same experience as you.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see my social media, it is whoever I see, I'm gonna highlight stuff. I'm gonna
Right.
repost stuff. I'm gonna post my own stuff, of course. But
Right.
you know,
That's all. That's all we
it's,
about.
it's not even a and I see that, and I'm like, it's disheartening. But I feel like if I put out enough positivity, even when negativity is coming my way, I had an actor once block me because blocked me on all social medias because I said, hey, like I said, I'm strict on. I give you dates, you get
Right.
a call sheet, and you don't show up. All right, I am going to call you directly, email you directly, and tell you, I'm sorry, I got to move on to another actor.
Right.
And they did all those things, and I was like, well, that's fine. And and then another actor came onto my set. It's like, oh man, they really don't like you. I said, that's fine. Because guess
For real?
what? If I need that actor again in the future, and they come in and they audition and they're perfect for that role, I'm still gonna cast them.
Right. Right.
I don't. All the stuff they said about me, I will still cast them.
Right.
I will still hold them to the same high standards.
Standards. Right.
If I cast them again and then they don't show up, they will be cut again.
Again. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one day they're gonna learn, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be, oh man, he ain't never tried to hurt me in any way.
Right.
I'm trying to, and I'm going to work with you again.
Right.
Now you get to these other sets, or you get to how people think making it sounds like.
Right.
There's no promise that you're gonna run into another Jamall that's
Right.
gonna give you that second and third and fourth chance.
Right. 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 Oh yeah.
I give it because in my mind, I've been given it not by people.
That's what's
I've
up.
been given it by God for many, many
That's what's
mistakes
up.
I've made.
That's dope.
So,
That's dope. That's real dope.
That is so
That's
awesome.
dope.
That is so
That's dope.
awesome.
I respect that totally.
So, besides acting, I know you do a lot of other things. So you work for the CCSD, and which is the Charleston County School District.
yes.
So, and you've been working there for several years. So, tell everybody what you do.
Oh man, CCSD. I am the planning and real estate facility use officer. I've been in that position for 7.5 years. My
Okay.
first 7.5 years, I've been with the school district 15 years.
Okay.
My first 7.5, I was the auditorium manager and auditorium technician, everything for West Ashley High School.
Okay.
Okay.
So I did 7.5 years there,
Okay.
and then I was promoted up to this position. That sounds all weird when you hear the title. People's like, "What is that?" So what I do for them is I secure rentals for everything from a kid's birthday party to like Halloween and Outer Banks and these big movies that rent out our schools.
Right.
I also rent out, our school, and I have a territory of all of North Charleston, downtown, and West Ashley. So it's like 50 plus schools, 50,
Right.
all the different locations, whether it's a soccer or basketball or, like I said, all those different elements. And at first, I was a little, man, I'm gonna get away from working with the kids and students. But I impact so many of them. When I realized how much my job impacts, where I have like Mayor Burgess of North Charleston, he has like my personal number, and he'll reach out and say, "Hey, North Charleston Raiders." I'll give them a little shout out.
That's dope.
I like what they do there, and they have their different little football and basketball stuff, and I make sure that they have fields to play on.
Right.
And when I wrap my head around, providing spaces for kids to play sports or do their music or do their, plays and dance and all these different art forms and sports. And when they look at that paper, the little final approval is my little scribble.
Roger that.
And it's humbling to know you are affecting so many kids who would never see you, never know who was behind them being able to play on that field or handle that. And I take a lot of pride in wanting to do the best of that job.
Feel that.
At an ABA camp just yesterday, AC went out in the cafeteria. I went and purchased fans with CCSD money, not mine.
Let me get that straight.
I drove it over there, day off or not, drove it over there, set it up, because, the ABA is like special needs students. And stuff.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure they were cool,
Right.
It's like little things like that. So it's
cool.
a cool job to have, and meet a lot of cool people.
Right.
That's
It sounds like
awesome.
it's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's
Did y'all hear that? He has rentals. So if you need to rent anything for birthday parties, sporting events, for plays, for any of that, films,
Hey, 'cause
whatever.
we utilize him.
Yes, we do. And the prices are very, very reasonable and
Yeah.
everything.
Oh yeah.
And he loves what he does. He
Yep,
loves
love
helping
what he does.
kids. He loves helping everybody. He has a good heart. So yeah.
That. So tell us a little bit about the fam.
Oh man!
'Cause
I'll
I've heard some
brag
special
about my-
things.
I'll brag about my girls. They're probably like, "Oh, here you go." So I'm a husband of 20 plus years.
Congrats.
Thank you. My beautiful wife, who's been there with me from day one. We go all the way back to high school. There ain't too many
Yeah.
people that can say that.
That's
Oh,
dope.
yeah.
And,
So how do you navigate that for 20 plus years? Because I know marriage is not easy.
Right.
It's not at all.
A lot of patience, forgiveness, a lot of forgiveness, faith. When and just my mom told me something always stuck with me when she would see me and Tanya together. My wife Tanya, and she said, "You guys, when it's hard, lean on each other,
Yeah, man.
and y'all make sure to pick each other up." So I treat everything like that with my girls. I make sure I have two beautiful daughters that One is just graduated from USC and a model.
Roger
Yeah.
that.
Direction USA. She does that. My oldest is actor, singer, dancer for Universal Studios
Right.
in
Oh, wow.
Florida.
Roger that.
Got on her second contract with them. She works in the
that
Harry
is
Potter
awesome.
section
That's the.
and in the How to Train Your Dragon. And
Oh,
just super
yeah.
proud
That's
of
dope.
my girls. They've always been like great in school. I couldn't ask if I was writing it out as a story, it wouldn't have been this perfect. So,
What do they? What are their dreams? The girls' dreams to do?
literally what they're doing.
What they're doing?
My youngest, my oldest. I'll start with Taylor. Taylor, when she was 3 years old. Oh, Dad's gonna tell the story really quick.
Oh, go
3
for
years
it.
old when
Take
she
your time.
was. We were at Ruby Tuesday, and she was like 3.5, and my other daughter like literally just sitting in the car seat still, in the restaurant. And Nose Broccoli, Crazy song came on.
Okay.
And she's 3.5, and she starts singing this song. And she didn't care who was there. She didn't care how many people. We had the people around us. Is like we like trying to get her to be quiet, like sweetie, because it's playing, in the restaurant. And she's singing her little heart out, and the people around like, "Nuh-uh, don't stop her. Let her go. Let her go. Let her sing."
That's what's up.
So performing, she's always wanted to be a performer.
Oh,
That's
wow.
dope.
Both of my girls went to art schools, Howell Hall Ames, Barrington Middle School of Arts, Berkeley Center of Arts. My youngest, she also went to the Governor's School for Math and Science.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I've been blessed with two very talented girls. When I first started doing my directing, they were in my little commercials. They were everywhere.
I remember because I was in your commercials and
Yes.
stuff.
I remember.
So they've grown up in it. And
That's awesome.
For them, their dream was to be able to do it as a profession as an adult.
That's cool.
And my oldest, she got out of college. She's like, I want a regular job, Dad.
Right.
I was like, an easy job. And I said, well, here's the thing. No job is easy. No job is safe. So you might as well do what you love.
Right.
So she went in there and right out of college, she went to Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. And next thing you know, she's in Universal Studios. And when I first took them to Universal, she don't like me telling this part either, but she did say when she was like 11, 12, the first time I took her, my oldest just kind of looked up at the people and she was like, I could do that. And I remember going, okay. And
That's what's up.
there's never been something they've gone for in my mind that they have come up short. Everything can be accomplished.
That's what's
So,
up.
one, she wants to continue to model and do broadcasts and do her own. She wants to be a mogul. She wants to be a media mogul. That's the youngest.
That's what's up.
My oldest, she wants to live her life as a performer.
Right.
And I know they both will. And they both will continue to reach successes.
That's awesome.
And they learn it from the best, right?
Right.
Hey, I say I'm a never say die, never quit person.
Amen. I feel you on that.
I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how many times I've failed or someone sees me as failing. That don't bother me. I come back for more.
Oh,
feel you
that
there.
is
I feel you there.
awesome. That is awesome. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure feel you there. Same way in that regard. I've fallen a couple times in my life. Couple times. And everybody. I remember my mom once before she passed. She says, "You're one of the strongest men that I've ever known." Going through, and I was like, I looked at her and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then she started telling me, and I was like, "Why?" It made me tear up. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand what you mean because it's in the end of the day, it's like I still got this goal and this dream and this obstacle that I want to go to and I want to accomplish. So if that means I got to get back up, brush myself off, and go back at it again, that's what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good that you haven't given up or anything like
Yeah.
that. You keep going. Some people, like in this industry or just in life general, just give up and they don't go back to do. Instead of, they say try. Try is you try and that's it. Doing means you keep going, and that's what you're doing. You keep going no matter what the obstacle is, no matter how hard it gets, and so forth, like
Right.
that. And you have that support system. You have your
Yeah.
wife, you have your daughters. That is amazing right there. So, let's see. So, for your, I heard that you were like, did you play football or wrestle or something like that?
Um,
I don't know where that came from.
so a little bit of football, very little of football. We won't. Football ain't much there to talk about. Most people want to talk more about my pro wrestling.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
You know, I was a little bit of an athlete. I did stuff in high school, and I got in college, and then my guy Adrian Lewis and Joe, who does sorry Joe, your last name is escaping me right now. But my these two guys, they currently there's a wrestling thing here in Charleston, old school championship wrestling.
Okay.
So before it was old school championship wrestling, way back in earlier 2000s, they were Carolina Pro Wrestling Association, and
Okay.
I was a 23-year-old dude, just moved back to Charleston from Rock Hill. Didn't know what I was gonna do exactly.
Right.
Still figuring out, doing a little acting here and there, and I picked up a camera, and the guy was like, "Hey man, can you record our wrestling show?" I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." I love wrestling growing up.
Right,
Ric
right.
Flair.
Oh yeah.
I
Road
was
Warriors.
oh yeah, Road Warriors. Oh man, I can talk on and on and on about that. And we don't even get me on Ron Simmons, Root, man. And so I met them. We talked a little. After I turned, all I did was I didn't know what I was doing. I just turned the camera on and let it record the
Right,
wrestling.
right.
I was in one spot, aiming no camera angles or nothing. I just
Turned it on.
I was like, hey man, I got this little camcorder I record my kids on. So I did that and I edited there. But he saw me. He's like, hey man, you kind of I was a lot muscular back then. He's like,
So now you got
great shape.
muscles.
Right, right.
I was like, well, thanks, man. He's like, you ever thought about doing pro wrestling? So long story short, I ended up being their champion. At times, I wrestled in South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, Florida. I met some amazing guys along the way. I used to go by Mr. Wright.
That was your name?
Matt Brown. Oh yeah, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright?
There's some kids out here somewhere with some autographed posters of me and pictures.
Mr. Wright.
But yeah, man.
That's what's up.
Mr. Wright was, because it was my way all the time.
Right.
And it was, what was my little thing? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Mr. Wright, because I loved Mr. Perfect.
Okay. Right. I remember Mr. Perfect.
When I would come out, it was just trash talking to every single kid out here. I was like, there's only one way, the right way.
Right.
And so, it was spelled Wright. So,
Okay.
I would go by my first name of Jamall. It was Jamall Wright. So, it's always the right way. And so, I had my finishing with the right off and all kind of stuff. It was all kind of silly. I loved it. And the Boys and Girls clubs we used to go and wrestle at used to be my favorites.
How long did you do that?
Oh, man. I had a 6-year period before I had these ankle surgeries that I had when I was 29. But from 23 to 29, then I said, all right, I'm not going to do it anymore because my doctors was like, not going to come back from these ankle injuries and surgeries. And that got to me
Oh wow.
because that word can't somehow don't really do.
I feel you.
So by 32, I came back. And I had my last match when I decided I wanted to retire, 2016, and it was out in Orangeburg, and the guy Zuka King, he still wrestles. He's a much younger guy. He was my tag partner, and every time he sees me at one of the events, he's like, "Man, you can get back in there, man." And I was like, "Yeah, my wife would kill me."
Right.
I was told I was done, so I made that commitment that I was done. But 2016 was my last match.
How much of that is real? How much of it is fake?
So
what happened
it's extremely interesting. When I first walked in, my whole thing was, okay, same thing. How much of this is fake?
Right.
And that word you don't use around wrestlers.
Okay, I can believe that.
Because I walked in and the first thing they said, it was like, "What do you think this ring is made of?" And I was like, "I don't know. This is first practice." He said, "All right, so we're going to pull up the ring." So he goes to the corner of the ring, he unhooks it. And this is Joe. And love you, Joe, man. Joe pulls back the little part across. And then it's about a little rubber mat thing like this thin. I was like, okay. He pulls that back. And all I see is 2x4. Well, I'm sorry, 4x8. So, these long pieces of wood. And I'm like, oh. And then steel. And he said, so these long pieces of wood, when you bounce on them, they bend. So we bounce on what? And then it's like, the first thing we're going to do is teach you how to not die and hurt yourself in here. So when you learn how to take a bump, and what a bump is to safely fall. They teach you how to safely fall on wood and concrete and metal and all of this stuff. They teach you how to safely fall. That's what you learn from the beginning of any wrestler. Any wrestler would tell you, you learn how to take bumps. Front bump, you learn how to take your back bump. You learn how to take your flip bump. You got to learn those, and you have to learn to land, tuck your head, because if you hit the back of your head, you're going to die. And I said, hold up, time out. Look, man, I played football. You telling me the first thing come out of your mouth is me not dying?
Wow.
So he's like, yes, and you're not going to have a match until we're comfortable with you learning that. And you go in and you run the ropes, and then the ropes, you realize, I was like, okay, if the ropes are too tight, it's dangerous. So you also have to put up the ring. All the rookies, all the green guys, all the first years walking in learning, you put up the ring, you take the ring down. Oh, wow. And it ain't easy. Wow. And you're over there, you're putting that ring up, you're taking it down, you're putting those metal posts up, and then a veteran comes in and they check the ropes, they check the ring to make sure you did it right and safe.
Oh, wow.
Because you run against those ropes, and like it ain't cotton candy.
Right.
I've seen some really bad injuries. I was blessed that I never got, my injuries were more of a combination of my sports through the years and not taking care of my ankles. Right. But I've seen guys really get hurt, when I would go to other venues or we would travel. Right. And Joe and my guy Adrian and Brandon, Micah, all of those guys kept me safe when I was learning. They were stiff with me. They taught me old school way of wrestling. A lot of wrestlers will know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, man. When we gave shots or punches, I learned like I wasn't one like some teachers would teach this hold back method where they're slapping their arm and they're barely touching the guy. And it's like, yeah, we don't do that here. So you're going to get right here in a safe spot. And, these safe spot stuff that, Joe, Adrian, y'all used to teach us the safe spot. They hit somebody. Safe spot. Like, oh, right here, it's safe.
That shit hurt.
Hit me a lot here. Talking about it's safe.
That's a safe spot, huh?
No, a safe spot. Across the back. You knew
just
where to
wanted to
hit
smack you
across
a
the
few
back.
times.
Oh yeah, no, chops. I had to learn how to do those myself because I was like, oh no, y'all light my chest up, busting blood vessels and stuff. So, but man, I'm not even gonna lie, it's addictive as heck. When you learn it
Right.
and you create these characters, I think I became a better actor because of wrestling.
Okay.
That's pretty.
For me,
that's pretty cool.
because I really loved communicating with the audience.
Right.
And I always wanted to be the heel. I wanted to be the bad guy. My favorite wrestlers are the bad guys.
Right.
Four Horsemen. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm who's the villain? That's my guy. And, I'm the only person in the room rooting for the bad guy. And they're like, come on, man, Jamall. Like, me and my friends are like, oh, we going for the Rock. Which Rock? Oh, okay. No, I want Cocky Rock where everybody hate him. Which version of Stone Cold? I'm only rooting for the heel. Who's the heel?
Oh, my
give me
God.
Randy Orton and all of that. But so when I went out there, and I would say it is the heel always is a little secret. Nobody get me on this. The heel is usually, that's the bad guy.
Right.
The heel is usually the better wrestler.
Mm.
So when you first get put out there, you're always a baby face. Because it's like, the heel carries, and most, especially indie wrestling, the heel carries the match.
Okay.
So when I first got in there, I was gung-ho. I'm going to be a heel, Mr. Right. Hold on, buddy. No, you're going to be Mac Brown. You're going to be a good guy.
You start
and the
out.
audience is going to love you because when you make a mistake, they'll forgive you. They're not going to forgive a veteran making the bad guy making a mistake.
Right.
And then you may lose your heat. You don't want to lose your heat as the bad guy.
Oh, got you.
So usually most of the bad guys are that. So most, now
Right.
some good guys are just so good at it. And so amazing at it. Like, now I'm not saying all of them weren't great wrestlers, because some of them were absolutely amazing.
Right.
Joe, I love Joe. He always played face. Like, he wouldn't. He had the military thing going for his character.
Right.
So, I got to like wrestle with him a lot at the beginning. And then when he thought I was ready, he's all right, you're a heel now, but you won't wrestle me. And it was great at first.
Why at
And then
first?
Joe had me wrestle him like 15 times in a row. I was like, man, can I wrestle anybody else, man? You guys saying how good I am. Let me wrestle somebody else.
I know, right?
And he finally said, all right, I'm going to cut you loose. And you're going to join this group here. And before I batted an eye, they were like, all right, we're going to put a belt on you. And I didn't realize how important it was. When I won it, I was so excited.
Right.
I was like, oh, yeah. And, in indies, you think these guys walk home with these belts. No, they give you the belt. You walk to the back, and they're like, all right, give me that. I paid a lot of money for that. You can have it when you come back for the next show.
So you won a lot of belts?
I won my fair share.
Okay,
That's what's up.
That's cool.
But that also meant that they trusted you. If they put a belt on you, that means you have to draw people.
I got
being
you.
a draw means, people's got to want to come see you, whether they want to come boo you
Right.
or cheer you.
Right.
Okay.
So, and you're you're close to the last matches. You got to be able to talk the talk.
Right.
And when they gave me a microphone, I was in heaven. And I realized
I should be doing this forever.
right? But yeah, man, and so many great guys in that business that I respect to the fullest. And,
That's cool. That's dope.
Yep, and they're still around,
Do you
and
still
they're
talk
teaching
to
the next
them?
generation. Oh yeah, I still go out to the shows. I went to one show and I got surprised. It was like the best feeling in the world, but like all these people recognized me. I was like, I hadn't wrestled in like 8-9 years.
That's dope.
So,
That's dope. Have you ever utilized any of your friends in your movies? Your wrestling friends in your movies?
Believe it or not, I have not got one of them to be in one yet.
Oh,
Yet.
wow. Yeah.
yeah.
I have
Okay.
not given up on that.
Roger that.
There's a 6'8" guy, Brandon. You were going to be in one of my
Roger
movies.
that.
Man.
6'8", yeah.
Adrian too. Adrian, the guy. Adrian was just amazing. He was an amazing wrestler. He was an amazing friend. He's in Colorado, so it's hard to get him.
Okay.
So he moved with his family, but Man, and that guy used to flip me around in that thing. When he taught me at the beginning, I'm like, all right, man, because he wrestled in high school and he was I'm talking about top tier wrestler. So he twisted me like a pretzel teaching me that stuff. I said, all right, man, all right, Uncle, what? Stop. What makes you stop?
I know, right? Let me tap you out. That don't work, neither.
No. But it's fun stuff, man.
Cool.
That's awesome, man. It's so interesting.
So you got the wrestling out of me.
So for the wrestling, did you have to wear a mask or some type of tighty anything or whatever?
So my wife I always wore the singlet, the wrestling singlet, because I wanted to rip mine down like Kurt Angle. So I wore that. My good friend Brandon, he was Asylum. I loved his gimmick. He wore the mask. He was this big 6'8" dude, and I had most of my matches. Luckily for me, we were tag team. I had to go against him. The times I did, when that man picks you up for a choke slam, you realize how high a 6'8" person can lift you in the air. And I'm 6'1",
right?
And I'm like, ooh, this is a long way down. But no, I never wore a mask. I wore the tights and wrestling boots. So that was usually my go-to attire on that.
Oh my God, that's
so
funny.
Cool.
That is funny.
Like that would have been fun to do that or whatever.
And
one day I'll show y'all my last wrestling match.
Oh yeah, you definitely got to see it.
I'll show you that.
Okay.
And did your wife go to all of your events?
No,
she
couldn't see some of them. Some of them, I'd come home. She probably want to tell this one story, but I had this match where we were tag team champions, me and Adrian. I think it was in Myrtle Beach, and they was like, "Oh, we're gonna do a hardcore match." And up to that point, like I did a couple of small ones, and I'm like, "All right, this is cool." And it's a 3-way thing, and these aren't the stuff you're getting hit with. Like you learn how to move with the hit, but you're still getting hit. The tables are real. Right. All we do is cut we'll take the metal ring from around it so it doesn't wrap around you. Gotcha. But you're going through the same wooden table. We just go to Lowe's. Like it's just that's what we're buying. It's just tables at Lowe's. Okay. The steel chairs that you see that they're sitting on, right? Those are the same chairs. You just move with it. You take the hit. You get your hand up if you're smart. You try to get your hand in the way, right? But it's still, they're smacking against your head. That's so this crazy. One was a unique where I was like, all right. I was warned that these guys, they were younger than me and Adrian. Me and Adrian's like late 20s at that time. And these guys were like 18, 19. So we're like, I was all right. I don't want them to do something. So we talked about what we were going to do prior to the match. And sorry, I had a little bit of hiccups there. We get in and these guys pulled out everything, literally a toaster oven. I was like, where that toaster came from? For real? And so I'm like we've already been wrestling and all this crazy stuff is happening. And they have already brought out everything they can think of. Anything they could find in the venue that's old, they'll grab. So, baking sheets, pans, all kind of craziness. Wow. So I hated hardcore matches. I didn't do a lot of them. Oh my God. And this guy picks up the little toaster. I got my back turned and he runs up and just hits me as hard as he could with it. Oh wow. And this thing pretty much explodes on my back. Oh wow. And I get a gash about this wide on my shoulder. Oh wow. And so I felt the pain from it. I didn't know how bad I was bleeding. Right. I just felt the pain from it. And Adrian said, he laughed. He said, boy, when you turned around, I was like, oh, he better run. Because I had a chair in my hand, and let's just say I used that chair. And I like that guy, man. I see him every now and then, and I said, man, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. I did, but I didn't. Oh, my God. But, and I came home, and my wife saw that, and she was like, I'm glad I didn't go to that one. I'm done. I'm not coming to your matches. Oh, wow. So, and my first matches, she was pregnant with my youngest. Wow. all of my girls really never saw me wrestle
Okay.
until they had to see like all the like videos and stuff I had. Um, Technically, Taylor was at my match with my oldest when she was little, but she was like 3.
I got you.
And
So
she didn't
yeah.
really remember 3, 4. She don't
Right.
really remember those. But I did let them see like some of it, and they was like, and they still watch it. Like, he hit my daddy. Calm down.
Like, don't mess with my daddy now.
You know,
That is so cute.
But yeah, man. She couldn't do it because she knew the dangers that were involved.
Right.
Those guys really do. You know, they don't let me say those guys. It's like, no, you retired, but never know. I said, I know.
Right.
You know, but a lot of people don't understand like the dangers they go through just to entertain.
Oh.
That's a level of love for a sport, like any sport. That's what they're doing. You do the sport because you want to entertain.
Right.
You know, and wrestling to me is one of the highest forms of athletic entertainment. I really didn't know how athletic I had to be to do it.
Oh yeah.
Until I started, and I was like, oh yeah, man, this isn't no. You're not walking off the street and doing this well.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of like MMA fighting or any of that?
Me? No.
You're like, wrestling is the safe space.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, you know, my uncle Mutri he boxed in the military, and his son Mutri was a boxer. So, and then just my family, you know, I mean, you had to learn how to kind of learn how to box.
Okay.
You know, whether you meant to learn it or not, you know, my grandfather probably would have gave you a couple of all right, come on, boy,
Right.
I got these gloves out in the barn. You know, I grew up in the country, you know. So
Right.
I'm like, hey, man, I don't think those are regulation. What you about to hit me in the face with? You know, so I say the closest thing I came to was boxing, but never really. I don't give myself any credit on that. I just learned a little bit around people who knew how to do it.
Right. Okay.
You know, I never like really partake in that. I wanted to for a while, and then I was like, I got all these other things going on, and honestly, do I really want to get into being punched in the face for a living?
I feel you there.
You know?
I say the same thing. Yeah, you know, that's kind of, you know, you see a Mike Tyson fight and be like, oh man, I can do that. And then you like, like you say, do I really want to get beat up the rest of my life?
You know, I had enough fights in school when I was younger.
Right.
My mom would get on me, you know. It took me getting to high school to stop fighting. You know, I won those fights, so in my head, I'm like, man, I can fight, bro. I'm like, you know, street fighting, I'm like 12-0, you know. But, you know, a real boxer sit up there like, oh, bring that over here.
Right.
You know what? No, sir. I respect what you do. No, sir.
Totally. Yeah, that's awesome though.
So, what's the hardest thing in life you had to deal with?
My daughter's birth. I'm not a guy that my daughters will tell you they've actually never seen me cry.
Mm-hmm. You don't seem like
really.
You don't seem like
would
you'd
say
be the
that.
crying.
I did have death in my family, and even then, it's like I'm not that.
You don't seem like it.
I'm not. I think my daughter's seen it once, kinda. They don't count it, but I count it because it went down my eye. But they don't know. What they don't know is that technically they both saw me cry. The only time I really cried in my life. My daughter, both of these wonderful daughters were premature.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife, and at the time, I was 21. My wife was 19 when we had my oldest, and who's 24 now. But she was premature, and then the doctors were like, my wife was girlfriend at the time. We weren't married yet.
Okay.
She was really sick, And then they told us that my daughter had G6P deficiency, which can just only be serious for like babies.
What is
I have
that?
it too. And we're basically allergic to like legumes and like peanuts and stuff like that. But we don't have
Okay.
like, we're not gonna go into like shock or anything. If we have it, we'll get like anemic or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So my youngest, she's all about giving people awareness of it because a lot of people go their whole lives never knowing. I never would have known I had it
Until
because I'd eat peanut butter and beans and peas because my mom made me, not
Right.
knowing I was allergic to it. You know, I was a little kid, like, boy, you gonna eat those peas?
Right.
And I'm like, Ma, I don't feel good afterwards. So later I was like, so Ma, when my daughters were born, remember when I said I didn't know? They told us that back then. It was the '80s. You were
Right.
they didn't explain stuff. But when my daughters were born, my oldest, especially the first time out, like I said, my wife was really sick. My daughter was literally like 4 pounds, and they told me we're gonna do a blood transfusion, and we're gonna go through her umbilical cord, and we're gonna take out about half of her blood. And I'm sitting there going, what does that mean? What is she gonna make it, or what is happening?
Right.
You know, I'm a 21-year-old, basically, you know, extremely young man. Like
Right.
I'm, you know, don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I got a 19-year-old girlfriend who's sick. I have a newborn who I don't know what's going to happen with this thing. And I remember when they rolled her in and they hooked up that stuff to her, and I'm holding her finger, and they rolled like my wife in, or you know, girlfriend at the time rolled Tanya in, and she just started crying. Tanya, it was a silent cry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she just like, I want her to be okay,
Right.
and I wanted both of them to be okay.
Right.
And I was so helpless. I'm always, I can say this about me. I've always been the go-to. My father left when I was about 14. We had some hard times with my father. My father actually passed to start this beginning of this year.
Sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah, thank you. And we had, you know, so I've been always used to being
The man of that.
yeah, man of the house, strongest person there. And that's what I knew. At 14, I worked at Freeman Millwork. I worked at a millwork when I was 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
15 years old in summer, I'm working at a millwork. I worked at my grandfather farm. He would have me scooping cucumbers off the back of a truck with a shovel into the hog pen. My cousin can attest to that. He was with me, Derek. So we were over there doing that. You know, so to be in a situation where there's nothing I could do. And my mom was like, well, son, you know, you can pray. I was like, all right, Mom, I'm going to do that. I don't know what else to do. And the tears just rolled down my face while I was watching it. And that was the hardest thing.
Roger that.
But then I watched her, and that kid was day one so strong. Like halfway through it, she's pulling. She would, and the second time it happened with my second, same thing. They would be pulling the IV out.
Oh, wow.
They had to put mittens on them and do all this stuff to keep them from like yanking. They had this UV light over them, and they had the little thing to cover their eyes. And they're like, "Man, get this off me!" You know. So I saw the two strongest people in the world to me at that point in time in my life. And they were 4 pounds apiece.
That's
You know,
dope.
barely 4 pounds each one of them. And I'm just watching these girls going, "Yeah, man, that's strength."
Totally.
You know, and I mean, my wife was so upset because they had to shave my baby head, put her IV up here. She's like, "Hey, they shaved my baby hair. Oh, her pretty hair." And I was like, "She gonna get it back? It's fine." You know, but they were a month later. You don't even know that anything happened, that they were premature, any of that.
Oh, that's
You know,
good.
2 months later, I'm looking. I'm like, this kid gonna have me grays and 20s at this point.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, so I mean, that was the hardest thing that I've been through. Yeah, by far, and that gave me knowing that I can make it through that. There's nothing I can't make
Right.
it through.
That
Amen,
is
brother.
awesome. I'm glad that they're healthy and
Amen.
okay.
Yeah.
And your wife is too, because you said she was sick too.
Yes, yeah, like was it preeclampsia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
okay.
Gotcha.
high, blood pressure and all of that, and yeah, man.
So you had a lot going on.
Yeah.
So what did you draw your strength from?
I will always say it, of course, through prayer. Um, honestly, I didn't have a lot of people to turn to.
Hmm.
Um, my mom, I have utmost respect. My mom did so much for me in my life when, my father wasn't there, but even she wrote me this. She tried to get me to get more tears. She wrote me right after my father passed. She wrote me a message about uh, it. I've always been the one that everybody turned to,
Right.
and that even for her, and she would say it wouldn't be. And, I hate that it wasn't fair that even I had to lean on you. Um, but you've always been that person for all of us.
Right.
And hearing that from my mom, I don't, I don't know. Everyone, that's been a question a lot of people have asked me, even my mom, because she would say, where. I said, I would only guess when you guys told me to pray, and I would pray. I struggled. I think a lot of people aren't comfortable saying this. I am.
Mm-hmm.
I struggled with my prayers. I
Right.
struggled with turning to God at times in my life. When I was young, I felt like I was always by myself. I felt like I always had to be the one. And, when when I would watch like my friends, whether it was a football game or basketball game, and their dads are there afterwards, and I'm like, I don't have my dad here.
Right.
My mom I got two younger siblings, so my mom's not here. I'm getting dropped off by coaches. I got my license at 15 because I didn't want nobody picking me up anymore from practice or dropping me off that didn't know me and wasn't related to me. Like I always had this idea of I had to do it myself,
Right.
and so I always felt like I was alone, and in those darkest moments when I realized I wasn't, and my wife, Tanya, don't really understand how much she's helped me. I don't
Well,
think
tell
she
her.
can.
You can tell her on this.
I do. Yeah, I tell her, and I tell her again.
Right.
Like it's, without her, I would a lot of times I'd feel like it was just always just me.
Right.
And I felt like we did that for each other during
Right.
those times of growing up. So, when you're 19 and 17, when you start dating, you almost, you kind of grew up together as well.
Yeah.
And
Learn life together.
yeah, ups, downs, figure out everything. I got my kids set up in a position I always dreamed of for my kids, and
That's dope.
that type stuff. You only get through with somebody with the same understanding of what it takes to handle. She also single parent home. Her mom, again, like her mom was able to be a little bit more for her. She's the only child,
Okay.
but both of our parents had to work a lot. We grew up in a small town where there's not a lot of Manning, South Carolina. There's not a lot of good paying jobs,
Right.
and
Right.
when we were younger, they worked a lot and they did everything they could. So we worked.
Right.
I was 15 working at Freeman Millwork and BC Moore's clothing store and McDonald's and trying to play sports. And at the same time, my future wife, she would work at Bilo, and it wasn't it wasn't a when, it wasn't a if you got a job. Oh, there was no option of job when
Right.
you got high school. It was when you gonna get old enough to help out.
Right.
We need that job now.
Right.
I was so blessed that my girls just focused on high school and college.
That's dope.
And then when they got out of college, that's when both of them got their first jobs.
That's dope.
You know, so that for me was already a blessing. I was able to see what I saw other kids got to like just be a kid.
Right.
You know, and I'm worrying about, all right, hey ma, I can help with the electric bill. I got you. You know.
Right.
So, and that takes nothing away from how hard my mom had to work and how hard her mom had to work.
Right.
You know, it's hard when single mothers out there, single fathers out there, and they got to do it all on their own.
It's rough.
Yeah. I'm blessed that I didn't. I had Tanya with me every step of the way.
Amen.
So,
Amen. That's what's up.
yep.
Seems like you found a good woman.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, I was, as young as I was to find that, man, that's just luck and grace of God. Because I'm like, shoot, I got friends that are my age now still looking, and I'm like,
Bruh.
yeah, man, that's why I ain't mess up nothing.
Bruh. I feel you there. I do. I definitely feel you there. You know, I know you were saying how everybody kind of looked up to you, or you was like the leader almost. When I first met you, that's what I saw. It just is, you know what I'm saying? It's just how you carry yourself, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, cool. When, let me do whatever he needs me to do. And, I was telling you earlier that when I asked you, should I do it like this? Should I come out and walk out and do this and do that and do this? And you was turn around and looked at me and you was like, you're the actor. And that right there was I'm telling you, simple words, but it was something that was so powerful that you just don't know how powerful it was, because you gave me permission to do what I wanted to do, but in acting, you don't know. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Until you understand what acting is and you understand the basics. I understand my parameters right here. If I understand my parameters and you tell me to go and I understand what I'm supposed to be doing, shit, I'm going to take off in this motherfucker. That's just how I am. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't understand that. And when I first started, you gave me the first insight into that. And I thank you.
I appreciate it.
I thank you, brother.
I believe that all characters are built as everything is built as a community.
Right.
The actor is built as a community, and the best way for me to do it is to trust my actors.
Right.
And that's my own philosophy as a director. If I can't trust my actors or give them the freedom to act, I've worked with other directors, a lot of them, and assistant directors that I've like, hey man, I've kind of pulled in, or I'll pull them to the side and said, hey, why'd you cast them if you're not going to trust them to be
right? You're telling them everything.
If I have to tell you, if I have to tell an actor like, okay, pick up this water like this in your right hand, and then open it with your left hand. I'm like, now they're focusing on, how do I pick up the water?
Right. You taking them out of their acting.
You're going to see that. Yeah.
Right.
So, I don't do anything microman. With Charleston County School District, I have 30 event managers that work for me, and more event assistants and more techs and all of that. And I refuse to allow them to lean too harshly on me for a question. Like, I just go, hey man, I hired you to do a job. I'm gonna trust you to do the job. Right. Because we trust each other to do the job. Because you got to trust me. Actors are forced to trust directors, right?
Right.
Because once you do, you can do the best scene in the world in your mind, and you're like, yeah. And then next thing you know, you go to watch it, and the whole shot is on the person you were talking to.
Right.
And you're like, what? I'm in this shot. I swear I'm in this shot. You hear my voice, right? But and it's because it's it's art.
It is.
And it's the only art in which, maybe not be the only, I shouldn't say only, but it's an art form in which so many people have to be involved. So many people have to trust each other.
Right.
If I am a director that is trying to control every single person, or a producer trying to control every single person and every single movement they do, then it's just my idea.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a collective idea.
Right.
And
Right.
it's
Right.
going to be more robotic. It's not going to be natural or
Right.
real.
Yeah.
You'd be like, why are they doing that? Why they look that way?
I know. I was recently on a project, actually with cameraman Jack, and it was actually his project. And on his set, I fell in love with acting all over again because of what I had to do. And my part, I was getting beat up basically by them. I'm a pastor, but literally I cry. I had to cry. I was crying and tearing up because I'm getting beat up.
Yeah.
And I literally did that all day long. And it showed me something in me that it was like, wow, you are designed to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because now I crossed a threshold when I was doing that play or that his short, beautiful short. Shout out Jack. Um, but right then and there, I understood something that in this thing called acting for myself, that any question, any doubt, any moment that I have where I ever question, should I be, why am I in this, why am I doing this, it was snuffed that day. It just totally was. It just totally was. When I doubt myself in something, especially in this, the God of my understanding will put me in a situation where I will prove, and it's not because I want to prove it. It's just because now it's my job to do this because I'm put in this predicament where I have to do this. All right, let me do it. Blah, 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 blah. And once I do it, it's like, wow. Wow, you did that. Wow. Okay. So I truly understand what you mean about certain things when it comes to this, in this acting, believing in yourself, trusting in yourself, never wanting to micromanage people, in this. Because I never want to do that. And, we don't do that either. We let the actors do what they do, especially now that I always believe this, especially if you're an actor and you're a director, I believe you have a way more better insight into everything.
Yeah.
I think that's just my own personal opinion because if I'm directing, if I'm just direct, I don't know the nuances that an actor goes through. I don't understand the worries. I don't understand the frustrations. I don't understand the intimidations that an actor may fall into. And when I am a director actor, I understand that. I understand the pitfalls that may go on with an actor. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you've seen some directors where they are so demanding on everything that they want you to do. And then sometimes it's like, just like on a table read, like they want you to be 100% on the table read like we're basically filming. I kind of get it, but it's a table read.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I understand you need to hear some inflections. I get that.
Yeah.
But some of them I've been on where they have stopped production, the table read. It was going beautiful because somebody didn't enunciate loud enough, or they weren't drunk. They were supposed to be drunk, or they weren't. You know what I'm saying?
See, I take a different take on table reads. For me, a table read is our chance to build our characters.
Right.
You know.
I don't have a problem with doing a table read. I never have a problem with it. It's just sometimes what I have a problem with is you want me to build this character on a table read, and I haven't even got the story built in me yet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's no way that it can actually happen.
Yeah, and even when I'm saying that, for me, is we sit down for a table read, and I think of it as, um, and let me back up because I'm saying that, but honestly, in most of my characters, I try to meet with uh, the actors. And you guys who already can attest. I want to sit down, like, hey, let's sit down, let's have a cup of coffee, let's sit down here, and let's talk about the character.
Right.
Let's just talk about the character. Let's talk about the show, the film. Um, Less Than Amazing one. I can't wait for the second half that I'm writing with that. There's so many actors I want to talk to and working with it. And I like to go in, and it's been more of a newer process as a whole. I've tried parts of it in the past. Like I want to meet with actors. Let's talk.
Right.
Let's talk about their character. I want to stick with that because I think that was the best part of my last film project. We sat down, we just talked about our roles and our characters. And then we came to the table. By the time we got to the table read, and we did that a few times, take our time. Hey, man, what'd you think about this? Oh, I wrote a little something different on
That
this.
makes what you doing makes sense because now I'm building it up.
Yes. So
Now
we
I
to the
just get on the
read.
table read and we ain't
Yeah,
done
we
all
ain't
that,
done
and you
nothing.
want me to be totally
Exactly.
immersed into this character. It's no way. Now what you doing, that makes total sense. I love that.
Yeah, because we got to build the world.
That's
first.
beautiful.
We gotta
That's
build
beautiful.
the world that we're in.
Yeah,
And we build the world, and I like to build my characters around my actors. And I
Right.
also treat I've learned to. I didn't do it at the beginning. I've learned to treat my scripts as what they are. They are not the law of my film.
Right.
They're just
A
the
template.
outline.
I got you.
The template.
Yep. That's how
And when I
it
really
works.
started to learn that, I wrote that, I put it out in front of everyone. I just made sure to keep everybody with that. And then when we got the table reads, it's the same thing still. I don't expect that. The table read isn't my film yet.
Right.
It's
Right.
just the table read.
Yeah, it's just a table read.
It's the next step in developing
Right.
the film.
Right.
Our film.
Right.
Usually I'm using the word our.
Right.
I used to say my. I used to say
feel
my
you.
film, and I'm forcing myself out of that habit because it isn't my film.
And you know something? I've never really looked at it the way that you're saying it, but the way that you're saying it makes total sense. Because in the end, it's not just my film. Don't get me wrong. I wrote it, came up with it, hired all these people, but I didn't do it all by myself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I like that, brother. I like that.
Well, it's coming to our time of conclusion of this show, but if you have anything positive to say for people, I want you to speak it into that camera
Yeah.
right there and let them know something positive.
Yeah.
It can be long, short, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, just something positive that you want to give to the people out there in the world. Let them know to keep going.
So I would say my journey has always been a roller coaster. Really highs, really lows. And I've learned that literally the expression of enjoy the ride, and just keep moving. Even if, whether you're taking a big step or a little step, just keep moving. You'll get where you want to get to as long as you just keep moving.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I love that.
And for those folks out there that need information on your films or rentals or anything, provide them with that information so they can get in contact with you.
Yeah.
Yes. So when it comes to my business, Vacant Space Films, we are vacantspacefilms.com. You can reach us at 843-530-1832. I had to think about my own phone number.
Great production company, by the way.
Yes, it
Thank you.
is.
And if you're ever looking for use of like facilities, if you're a filmmaker or if you just work with youth in any type of capacity, you're needing space, or if you just want to get your grandma someplace to have her 90th birthday party, I will do that too with Chelsea County School District. You can reach me in my office number of 843-566-1994.
Roger that.
Y'all hear that, guys?
Telling
You
you.
got Vacant Spaces Film Productions there. He gave you that information, and he also gave you about his rentals. So get in contact with him. His prices are reasonable.
Very.
We have used them for
All
our
the time.
film cycles TV series and other things as well. We appreciate you
Thank you,
for
brother.
coming. We thank you so much. Y'all, this is Jamall
Y'all,
Rawlinson.
Jamal up in the house,
He's the filmmaker
and filmmaker.
and owner of Vacant Space
Oh
Productions.
yeah,
Whoop,
oh yeah. We just want to thank you, brother, for showing up, showing out, brother. Because you, like I said, man, you have been an inspiration to me. You've been an inspiration to me and my wife. You have really set us on the course for doing everything that you see us doing. So we thank you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing. God's got you. We got you. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Hey.